Quick shout out before we start. Thank you to everyone who watched the first video, subscribed, and dropped a like. The support honestly means a lot, and I'm excited to keep this project going. Let's get right into it. Welcome back, guys. Hostile Frog here once again. OSRS and RuneScape. We're here again. Same day. Nothing's changed. Same spot. But here we are. Oh, that guy's got a griffin pet. Anyways, we're here to spin the wheel. What are we going to land on? What is this episode going to be about? The moment of truth is here. Episode 1, Wheel of Bosses. Here we go. And the first boss that we are killing is Vorkath. I was scared to land in Leviathan, not gonna lie. I have 0 KC in Leviathan. So we're starting off with a boss that we know, Vorkath. However, what exactly are we shooting for on Vorkath? Vorkath is a boss that can be kind of interesting here and there. But we do have these rare ticket items like this 1 in 1,000, the jar, obviously, with the 1 in 1,000 with the dragon bone. We got the jar, we have the pet, we got Visage, we have Skeleton Visage. How do we do this wheel spin? We are going to throw those items all in. With the exception of pet. Pet will kind of be like one of those things where I'm unsure if I want to make that as an autocomplete for the said challenge or if we just keep going with the flow. We're going to kind of see what we do here. Vorkath head to 1 in 50. I don't want to make it so it's just one head completes the challenge. So we might do something where we do 2 heads for Vorkath head, the Vorkath head. We'll throw Dragon Bone, make that a either Dragon Bone or 250. The jar we'll throw at maybe 300. Visage we'll throw at 500 for both Visage. And then we'll throw some 50s and 100s in there. So let me make that wheel right now. So we're back. I quickly made a wheel. Obviously, the more I do this, the more I land on these said bosses. These wheels are already going to be made. Feel free to drop suggestions on how I should kind of edit the videos. For example, like even just looking at it right now before I do end up doing the spin, I think the Vorkath head thing could easily be increased here. And then obviously we can kind of throw a quick couple boosts to some of these other ones here. Just because I do want to make it so it's possible still to land on these items that are going to be a lot harder to get, but then also make it so if I'm landing on an item that will be quick, 50 KCs, kind of quick. So we might kind of want to make it a little bit longer of a challenge just in case. So let's throw that to 75 KC. Just because I kind of want to make sure it's not like something quick. We'll probably leave 150 in there, which looks like that is the last one. So we'll do that. We'll shuffle it a few times. So now the wheel is changed. We landed on Vorkath. What is our challenge for this video going to be? And looks like we're landing on the 150 KC. So if I get any of the big drops, I will show you. I will record as best as I can. It might be after the fact. I will record as much as I possibly can. I'm very new to this. I'm going to do the best I can, but I will show you the drops, and then we'll kind of just go back into this RuneScape here quick. I will show you the drops. I will keep track on the loot tracker. That's how I'll know where I'm at for KC. and just kind of go from there. I will show you once everything's said and done, what I end up what I end up getting. Just click a quick reset on the loot tracker. I'll show you when I complete. I don't know how long or how fast this is gonna be, how slow it's gonna be to get to this thing, but I will show you when it's complete, and we will be back once either I get some drops or the challenge is complete. Quick little thing to just kind of hop back in for a second. Um, I want to show you like the gear that I put on first, before I kind of hop in, just so you guys can get an idea. Now, typically what I like to do is whatever boss that I'm doing, I search, just the Vorkaf strategy thing, for example, and just kind of go and look down at what the best gear is. Obviously, there's two options for Vorkaf. You have your range method and you also have your melee method. In this case, I am gonna do the melee method this time, just because I kind of really am in the mood more for melee than I am for range right now. So I do have Torva, so I will be doing the maxed melee gear. So in this case, we want to go to our melee tab, which I do have a melee slayer. That's what I want, kind of was grinding. We got your Rancor, supposedly is higher than Salve Amulet. I think that could be dependent on what you're doing, and it looks like the main reason is if you have it on Slayer Task. We don't have it on Slayer Task, so we will actually do the Salve Amulet EI. Or yeah, the EI. Or is it saying E? We'll go with E. I guess E is better, maybe. And then our Infernal Cape, Torva Plate and Legs, Durgan Hunter Lance we have in our inventory currently, our Defender, our Rada's Blessing, Ferocious Gloves, Avenic Treads, Altar Ring, and then we do have Burning Claws, so we'll do that as our spec weapon. So we'll throw that on. We got our gear. So this is the gear we're going to be rocking with. We got our treads, we got our full Torva, the lance, etc. Now, for the gear itself, or the inventory, we're going to want to make sure we have the Crumble Undead. So Slayer Staff is good for that, just to do the auto cast. Crumble Undead is Chaos, Earth, and Air. So again, as you can see, I still have the regular rune pouch. It's a little embarrassing to have max gear and still have the regular rune pouch. So that is something to look forward to when we get into TOA, if we land on that. So we have our Crumble Undead. We're going to do quickly auto cast on Crumble Undead for our Slayer. Our Slayer staff here. And then we'll just kind of shift some things over here. We'll move that there and there. We were going to want our Divine Super Combat. In our case, since we are using the Defender. Ha. Since we're using the Defender, we're going to want our extended super anti-fires, as well as our anti-venom, our super extended anti-venom. Get some prayer potions, which it looks like we're going to need to buy some. We have only one dose, so let's just go prayer potions. Let's just buy 1,000 just for the hell of it. Or sorry, 100. Throw that in there. Get 3 doses. We're gonna want probably a bite of food in there. Surge potions is what it's recommending. I don't think I'll do surge potion. I believe I will just do some more food. Maybe just about there. Throw one more just for the hell of it. And then wherever we got that, we got our max cape. We're gonna throw that on. We're gonna switch that left click to home. So our left click will be home, just like as if it was a construction cape. That's gonna be our one click teleport. Um, let's see here. Anything else? It does recommend actually in our room pouch to change these ones to I think dust runes here and some law runes. Let's deposit those. I accidentally grabbed them all. I'm assuming, let's see. Why is it that they want that? Ah, teleport to house. We don't need teleport to house. We only care about maybe high elking. So seems like it wouldn't really matter in this situation. We have our teleport to home. We want to make sure when we have this on, our magic is only a minus 44. We are good. Um, Otherwise we would splash. We don't want to splash. But this is the gear for that. We will grab actually one last thing, which will be our Firminican Isle sea boots. We'll teleport over here, and then we could just simply take this boat right here. So take it over there. And here we are. This guy's got Vorky. And there is Vorkath. I will show you guys once again if I get some drops. Otherwise, I will see you guys once 150 kills are complete. So just to kind of give you guys an example, I'm going to go through just a quick example kill. I've only killed 6 so far out of the 150. So you can kind of see kind of the drops that I've already gotten so far. I did get this Dragon Bolts unfinished literally the last kill here, which is a really big drop, 365k. That's really nice. Otherwise, right now, the bulk of the money is coming from the Superior Dragon Bones. But anyways, let's get into it. So we're going to drink our Divine Super Combat. We got our extended anti-fire, anti-venom and anti-fire. We're going to throw the Burning Claws on. We're going to quickly spec them out. We're only going to drop 2 specs. And then we start poking away. So Vorkath's one of those bosses that, if you're not careful, can kill you pretty easily. The biggest threat really is the big fire drop, but you also have this poison phase. I'm not that great at doing like the little walk yet, so what I'm gonna do is just kind of do it like this. True Tile is amazing here. It really helps to kind of see exactly where your character is so that you don't accidentally get comboed. Other than that, Vorkath's pretty straightforward. You're gonna want to just keep poking away. That's the move you want to avoid. Typically, when you know for sure it's not acid phase, I like to throw a run on just so that you can really avoid those. You throw your Slayer Staff on whenever this guy spawns in. It should be a one hit. You shouldn't miss so long as you're not, I believe it's minus 65 with your gear. Otherwise, you will splash. However, with the Slayer Staff, it should help you not splash. Go back into killing the kill as you were before. Being careful of not getting comboed by the acid that he's doing there. If you're not comfortable doing this, you could simply just do a regular walk just around until the acid phase is over. Either way works. I've been killing it enough so I can at least get some hits in during that phase. But when I'm doing range, typically I like to just do the walk, just walking around. Um, but if I'm doing melee, I am comfortable enough to get some hits in. So in this case, we ended up getting a Dragon Plate Skirt. That's another nice drop. And we'll basically just kind of rearrange our inventory, throw the Burning Claws back on, throw our Run and Prayer back on, and be ready to start the next kill. And we will do that for the remainder of the kills. So, as I was kind of doing more kills, as you can see, I'm now at 27. This is the next day now, so it's gonna probably be a process. However, while I was kind of doing some kills, I noticed, there's still the combat achievements that I have for Vorkath. I don't know if I'll be able to complete all of them while I'm doing this, but I figured I'd still at least attempt to get something going. So the first one that I noticed was the walk. So hitting Vorkath 12 times during the acid special. So I've kind of just looked up on the wiki just the best way to do this because the only reason or the only method that popped in my head initially was the Wuxwa that was made when Vorkath came out with the blowpipe. However, there is a melee method. There's a couple ways to do it, but the way that I'm going to be doing it is with the Burning Claws. So, what do you have to do? You want to spec Vorkath 4 times with Burning Claws, and then the only way that you can do that is if you have a Surge Potion. However, you can't step into one of the acid pools, otherwise that will be considered a fail. So I will attempt this one. The Dodging a Dragon one, I probably will have to do range for when I want to do this. This one's going to be kind of tough, but we will try it. Killing Vorkath 10 times we'll probably need to do with range as well. And then the speed run we might be able to do with melee, but we'll have to see. But to get right into it, we will drink our anti-venom, our anti-fire, and super combat, and we will start the fight. We'll turn off run just to make sure that we don't accidentally run during the phase and it screws our whole process up. So Vorkath does 6 regular hits before he does his special. So that's his 4th one right there. That's number 5, which he turns off your prayer. And then that's 6. Now this could be the walk. It's not yet. So we're going to throw on the Slayer Staff. We're going to kill the spawn. And we're going to get right back into it. So that's number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know he's going to do the thing, so we're going to just try to pre-dodge. And then we got to get our hit in. We're probably not going to get it this attempt because we were way too slow. We were able to get it. Nice. And I died. Well, at least we got it, right? But anyways, I concur. I will be right back into killing the dragon, but at least we got the combat achievement done. Alright, guys, we are on to the final kill of the challenge. Honestly, it wasn't too bad of a start. It's a pretty simple first boss to get into. Obviously, you got to be careful of that bomb for the dragon breath or the fire bomb. However, other than that, it's been pretty simple, pretty easy. I switched over to range at one point, probably around, I'd say 50 kills. I switched over to range. Just felt like I kind of wanted to be a little bit more laid back. I felt like I could get some more kills occasionally with range than I could with melee. So I ended up switching over to range. It ended up being not too bad. Kills per hour obviously could have been way better, but I was just kind of taking my time. I don't want to force myself to have to sit at these bosses and really grind them out super fast, just so I don't get burnt out right away. But in the end, this is the final kill of the 150. As you can see, we are now at 150 in the loot tracker here. And we can kind of take a look at what exactly we got as our loot. So, when looking at this, you can see the total value was around 26.4 mil. So, honestly, for what it's worth, 150 kills, that's a pretty good amount of money. Um, a lot of the extra money kind of came from the Dragon Bolts Unfinished there. You got your battle staffs, the regular Dragon Plate Skirts, plate legs, battle axes. You know, this the typical stuff that drops that is gonna be valued as higher. Um, if they were to be high out, it would be more money as well. But to kind of wrap it up, we got the dragon stuff done. Um, and we are complete with Vorkath. We can officially say episode 1, Wheel of Bosses, is complete. I appreciate you guys for watching. Um, I'll try to get some more gameplay of me fighting the bosses in future episodes. It just really depends on like how exactly it's going. However, I want you guys to take just kind of look at this and really decide for yourself if you are looking for content to do. You can go and kill Vorkath. He's not too bad. He's used to be called the Money Dragon. I don't know if he still really is. Um, but I would say 26 mil after only 150 kills is relatively good. The Dragon Bolts Unfinished are a common drop, so it's not too uncommon to run into something like that. Um, as for the Vorkath heads, I did land on it 3 times. It was right around 126 that I got the second one. So if had I landed on that for the challenge, that would have been where I would have completed the challenge. I got another one at 147. So we ended up with 3. But besides Vorkath heads, we did not land on any of the big ticket items. But it's okay. I hope you guys have a great day. And we will see you guys in episode 2, where we find out what the second boss is that we will be fighting. Have a good one.